Oh, welcome to the channel, Bibles, Bullies, and Bogies. Figured I'd show you guys a little bit of what I've been working on here and there. Um, so this is kind of just a freehand snake staff. I guess I'm inspired by Moses or, whatever. I like the Bible, so there was something that I wanted to try. All I do, I just draw it on freehand. Pretty much everything is all freehand done. Carve it, and then like here will be wood burning, and I burn in everything. Just figured I'd show you a little bit. Alright, just a quick run over with some 220 to get rid of any little burrs and stuff. Now this is a process, so I'm not just, I'll go in and shape stuff later with different bits. But now I just have a simple, like Jacob's well. I've got a Weller burner, nothing fancy. And I just go in and burn it. Cool part about this thing is you got different bits. You can kind of draw and shade with it as well. I mean, you could actually just do wood burning. I'm just doing this as a process. So it's first time I've ever done this in my life. I have a pretty extensive art background, but I've never carved wood before. And so I'm learning, just there's a lot that goes to it. There's nothing fast about it, but it's kind of neat. And I always think about when the Hebrews came out of Egypt, God sent them snakes, specifically adders, and it said that they would bite them. And so then Moses put a serpent on a pole, and when they looked on it, they would be healed. I also find it ironic that, our medical field, their symbol is a snake on a pole. Go figure, huh? I got a snake. Had that for a long time too. So I pull from a lot of different things. Inspiration comes, I say, from God. Genesis talks about there'll be the woman's seed and the serpent seed. And the woman's seed would, the serpent seed would crush the heel, and the woman's seed would crush the head. And if you look right here, there's a crack that runs on this head. So I walked out to my shop and I saw that one day, and I just kind of laughed and I said, God's amazing. He teaches me in ways that I can't explain to anyone. It's been like that most of my life. Like comedian Bill Engvall, he says, here's your sign. Yeah, there's signs everywhere, guys. It's just a matter of if you're paying attention or not. And God does speak. I don't hear words specifically. I just see things, and they're brought to me one way or another. If you pay attention, He tells you stay awake, stand firm, and grow mighty. And He also tells you to wait on the Lord and trust in Him and Him alone. We're not to worship anything on this earth, to include the work of our hands. This is just a hobby of mine. If you guys have followed my channel throughout the years, you'll see that most of my artwork I burned. And that was just because I do not worship the work of my hands at all. Sometimes it pays the bills. Other times it's just like I said, this is kind of a hobby for me. I like Mike Stinnett. You can look him up on YouTube, and his channel's called Stinnett Sticks, and he does some amazing work, like absolutely amazing. So, and I always am, not jealous, but inspired by other artists, and he truly is a master craftsman. He's been doing his stuff for a long time, and it looked neat. It looked like something I wanted to give a shot and try. So I'm doing it. Not to his level, I'm not claiming that now. I'm just saying, like, it inspired me to give it a shot. I hope that what I do, teaches you, inspires you. Just understand it takes time, patience, dedication, and most things in artwork are not fast. One of my favorite artists growing up was Bob Ross, and on each episode he only had 26 minutes to create a painting. And if you go watch his work, it's phenomenal what that man could do in under half an hour. So there's a lot of positive in this world, even in the world of dark. We're supposed to be the light of the world and inspire others through what you do. That's all I hope that these videos does for someone somewhere. I always say, if I can help just one person, awesome, because that's what we're supposed to be doing every day. I live in an area where we're pretty secluded from everybody else. It's quiet, and I did that. We live on a mountain, and since we moved up here, I've honestly never felt closer to God than I do now. And that's part of why I love where I live. We're surrounded by nature. Thankfully, I'm not surrounded by these guys right here. But, we're surrounded by nature. We have deer running through our yard sometimes. There's also bear and things like that, coyotes, wolves, and so on. But thanks to most of my dogs, my bullies and my husky and my corgis, we don't have a major problem with that where we are, because everything pretty much stays away and leaves us be, and we leave it alone. You know, we're not here to hurt anyone. We're just here to enjoy it, to raise our children, to be God-fearing, God-loving. And in a world where we see a lot of bad, we hope for the best. And that's all I can do. I struggle every day on whether or not I'm doing the right thing or I've done the right thing in my life. And the bottom line is I can't change my past. I'm only in control of my present. I can't control what's around me, just me. So I'm trying to do a good thing in whatever I do. I know I've taken a lot of breaks from YouTube, and that, honestly, I compare that to, like the story of Jesus. You know, it says Jesus went and... My little girls are playing in the background. Jesus used to preach to the crowds and heal and do all those things. But afterwards, he always sought seclusion up in a mountain to heal. And that was time with his Father, to pray, to rest. And so he was able to do it all over again. And that's something that, you know, no matter where you are, where you live, you know, don't forget to rest, guys. You know, one of God's commandments was don't forget the Sabbath. I've found that through the crooked calendars and everything that we have, you know, honestly, we don't know the correct day for many things. But to me, the most important part is to take at least a day. You know, even in the story of creation, he says that in 6 days the earth was created, and on the seventh he rested. And I always said that, you know, the 8th day is eternity. So we'll see. It also says that to the Lord, 1,000 years is as a day. And if we look throughout human history, it looks like we're around that time. You know, man was created on the sixth day. That's why the number 6 is number of a man. So I'm hoping soon that we'll have that 7th, 8th, and eternity. I think this life is just essentially a pit stop on much greater that he has for us. That's my belief. That's my hope. That's how I've always lived. Is, you know, I don't fear death. I don't look at death the same as a lot of people do. You know, I think it's okay to grieve your loved ones and so on. But at the same time, when the body dies, the spirit does not. It, I believe, returns to God. And he then designates what happens from there. That's above my pay grade. Not something I worry about. I just pray for him to show me and teach me the way. You know, like Mandalorian, this is the way. And I've used Star Wars several times in my teaching. Even right now, I have a Ewok shirt on. You know, Ewok with you. I made that joke before. Not to say that Star Wars is the Bible, but if you look at it in coordination with your Bible, there's a lot of things that start to kind of fit together and make sense. You know, I mean, in Star Wars you had the Jedi. Well, then there was Order 66. That, you know, there was That was where they turned on the Jedi and killed as many of them as they could. I find it ironic that the King James Bible has 66 books. You know, and that's not... I know I've showed the Eth Sefer on my channel before. The Eth Sefer has 80-something books. So, not everything, I don't think, is in there. I always say that the Bible is a highlight reel. Kind of like how this video is a highlight reel. I'm just showing you a little bit. I'm not showing you the whole process of everything. I'm showing you bits and pieces. The Bible's the same way. It doesn't show you every nook and cranny. It shows you the highlights of what's going on or what happened. I also look at the Bible as a story of past, present, and future all rolled into one. I kind of consider time to be, again, past, present, and future. And I told people, you know, what is time? Our concept is only our concept, because again, 1,000 days is as one day to the Lord. So that means to him, time doesn't matter, not at all. And when we consider it that way, you know, our lifetime, whether it be 20 to 100 years, is purely a drop in the bucket to God. You know, there's verses that tell you that he considers the nations to be, again, just a drop in the bucket or the dust on the scales. Like, they're nothing compared to him. And that's something that I believe our governments and people and so on have just largely not paid attention to whatsoever. I know that the churches don't teach it that way. I know that they preach things in order to make money. And today I was led to the book of Jeremiah. My name is Jeremy. And once again, he showed me many different things. I always hope that those don't come to fruition in my time. But at the same time, if they do, well, he already warned us. You know, it's already in there. Jesus told his disciples that this generation shall not pass. You know, many of you shall not see death, but you'll see the Son of Man coming in his full glory. And I've always asked a lot of church leaders, I was like, well, I mean, what generation is that? Because scholars say that that was over 2,000 years ago. So those generations are long past. Unless time is a continuum. Maybe it's, you know, it's generation after generation. Or it's all happening now. And that's what I tell and teach my family, is that it's the living word. We're living it. Welcome to the greatest story ever told. Alright, I think that's enough. You got pretty much the idea. I'll give you guys some updates along this process, and just don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And when I finish this, I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet. I haven't fully decided. Again, it's just something that I've been working on as a hobby. And I'm either going to keep it, sell it, or destroy it. I don't exactly know yet. It's kind of whatever God wills. You know, he's in each and every one of us. He's all around us. He's a part of everything. And my message to you is don't forget about him. He hasn't forgotten about you. So give him time every day. Pray to your Father in heaven. Jesus already taught you how. He didn't say pray to him. He said pray to our Father in heaven. Our Father who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. There's not much point in changing what he said. I think he did a pretty good job of explaining it to everybody. But, you know, God sends prophets and men of God in order to teach and tell everyone all over again. And that's because we're hard-headed, obstinate, and we keep trying to do it our way. And, you know, what was it? Limp Bizkit said, my way or the highway, right? That's pretty much how God feels. It's his way or the highway. And my wife and I today were talking about God's laws, you know, and we live in the United States. And I said, so what's easier? Is it easier to follow God's 613 laws, or the thousands and thousands and thousands of laws that our federal government has? And then on top of that, you have a breakdown where each state has its own laws. And it's just, the bottom line is it's impossible, absolutely impossible, to truly follow the law. And that was what Jesus died for you for. Like, he died so that you were forgiven, okay? And that's all we can hold on to. Now, I'm not telling you to go break the law. I'm not telling you to disregard everything that the Bible says and what God said and so on, or the laws in your local areas or anything like that. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you to do your best. But even with your best, you're going to fail. And I believe as Apostle Paul said, if you fail in even one, well, then you're guilty of all. And we all fail. We're all guilty. We were born into sin. We're going to die in sin. And that's why, from the beginning, the payment for sin is death. That's it. So once you die, to me, you've paid for your sin. That's how I believe it is. I believe that God can redeem anyone, anywhere, anytime, because he has the time. He sends who he needs in order to change that person's thinking. You know, they say that when you die, most people say that they saw their life flash before their eyes, or that they watched their life again. Well, in that time that someone is dying, I believe it could be as much as 2 seconds to an eternity in their mind. And that's all the time God needs in order to redeem you. I hope you enjoyed my work. I hope you enjoyed or maybe learned something today. Maybe you didn't. If not, well, God will send someone else to you. That's just how he works. God works in mysterious ways. He takes his time. He gives you more time and more opportunities than any of us deserve in order to turn to him, have faith in him, and do the right thing. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you soon.